Hey up my ducks, and welcome back to Sharpest Koi. Right, in this video we're going to do a step-by-step guide of how to treat a wound on one of your koi. So I've got a poly koi. It's actually a ghost koi, so you might have seen on past videos it's one of my small ghost kois. It's just under the Beni Kikigori there, so it's gone into the darkness a little bit, but he does have a slight wound on his flank. If you've not seen it, go back and see some past videos. I did do a video where I was treating it, but I didn't really go through a step-by-step guide, so that's what I'm going to do in this video. So I'm going to get all my things together, I'll get it bowled up, I'll get all the treatments out, we'll go through which treatment is best to use, and we'll get it sedated, and we'll go through the treatment. So the treatment I use, which I'll show you, so you can get, the one I use is the Kasiora kit, so you get a full medical kit. It's about between £40 and £50 depending on where you're getting it from. I actually got mine from Amazon, but it comes with a sedate, it comes with the antibacterial, it comes with the plaster stuff, it comes with the wound cleaner, loads of cotton buds and some gloves as well. So it's really sort of kit to use. There's others out there, there's ones from MT Labs and things like that, but this is the one that I actually use. Like I say, it's a full kit that comes together. So we'll get everything set up, we'll go through which order to use them with, we'll get the koi bowled up. I've got my bowl ready to sedate, I just need filling up with water, and we'll go through, okay? I also use a baby changing mat. So you want something soft to put the koi on. If you're quite inexperienced, use it on a flat ground as well. Sometimes I will do mine on the side of the pond. I shouldn't really do that, but for the purpose of this video, I'm going to do it on the floor. What I will do, I will give the baby changing mat a wipe with antibacterial wipes, so that's to make sure it's fully clean. I've got a clean tea towel, which I use, which I wet, and I'll put on the mat as well. Again, we'll go through all that. So let's first bowl the koi. Right, so we've got my ghosty in the bowl, and the water is absolutely freezing. And normally I wouldn't really recommend to do anything like this in these kind of temperatures. My pond's unheated, so it's about 6 degrees at the minute, the pond. Obviously the fish more or less sat at the bottom, they're swimming around at the minute because they've been messing around with the pond. But no, I wouldn't normally recommend doing it at these sort of temperatures, but needs is must. If you've got a poorly fish, you've got a poorly fish, and you've got to do what you've got to do. So this wound he's had for quite a while, and actually he got it just before the winter set in. So with the cold temperatures, I think that's why it's taking quite slow to sort of heal up. But it isn't getting any worse, which is the main thing, so we are keeping on top of it. So if you can see there, obviously swimming around, probably have a look a bit more once I've got him under the sedate, but you know, it needs a bit of a clean. It's getting a bit of fungus coming on it as well, which is sort of a secondary infection, so we don't really want that to sort of take over the body of the koi. Apart from that, is okay. Slight dint on the top, so he's definitely been in the walls a little bit. But you want to make sure as well, obviously it's not ulceration, because if it is an ulcer, that's more of a bacterial infection, but you will know because that will just really spread over the koi. The flesh will just start eating away and it will just get larger and larger. So this is definitely a wound that is picked up, which I did just before that winter set in. So good thing is about this particular koi, he's quite a calm koi, he's not a lively one at all. So once I do have him under the sedate, you know, he does go under pretty well. He's a pretty calm fish, to be fair, and sometimes I can even pick him up in my hands even before the sedate. Sometimes I'll put a bit of an antibacterial spray on him just to keep on top of things in between. Before we do put one on the sedate though, I need to turn that off because I don't want my pond overflowing. I've just been doing a water change today as well. Obviously we've got to get everything set up, so I've got my antibacterial wipes to sort out. I filled this bowl up, so the good thing about this bowl, I'll just tell you how many litres it's got on the side. So I'm currently on 20 litres, you probably can't see that on camera, but this is a 60 litre tub and I have it on 20, so that's, I know how much sedate then to put in. So we'll get the sedate in, let that settle. He's getting a bit anxious now, so we'll turn that off. I don't want him in there for too long, it's just going to stress him out. Right, so we'll get the koi sedate. I've got everything set up. So what I normally do, get everything in order first of how you treat the koi. So we get the clean wooner, the antibacterial spray, the powder which acts like a plaster, tap water in a spray bottle. Always use tap water. That's just to wet the powder to make sure it sets on top of the wound. And then you've got a top coat sealer as well, which sort of seals it. and cotton buds at the side. Don't use the same cotton bud in each, just use a different cotton bud per clean. So we'll get the sedate in. So, like I said, I've got 20 litres in there. This is 5 ml per 5 litres, so I only need 4 lots of 5 ml in this. Measuring beaker. There you go, 20 ml. And just give it a mix. So to make these sedate. Okay, and then what we can do, we can transfer the koi. There we go, bless him. So a bit of a closer look at that. I told you it's quite a calm koi. We'll get him in the sedate. So it should only take a few minutes as well. You can gradually see he's already starting to roll. Now the good thing is, if it takes quite quick for your koi to roll and go to sleep, it should be a lot quicker when he's coming round as well. If it does take a long time for him to roll over and get under the sedate, then you could find it will take longer for him to recover at the same time. So we'll give him a few minutes. You can see he's going. While he's doing that, never leave the koi as well, just keep an eye on him just in case they do jump around or thrash around, get too stressed. So always keep an eye on your fish. I'm going to wet this tea towel. We'll get the tea towel laid across the changing mat, which I've want the antibacterial stuff. I'll get my gloves back on because I've just took them off, and we'll then he should be ready to go. So I can set the camera up just in front of the changing mat, so just move that out of the way. So we'll get this wet, get the tea towel wet. This is just to cover the koi, to cover every space and things like that, and it'll obviously keep the koi moist. That's on the changing mat. Just turn you around so you can see while he's, if you can actually see in there, he's going. I'll give that a few minutes. Right, so once the koi is rolled over, you know he's asleep. As you can see, he's not properly gone. We can get to work. And the thing is here, if you saw videos, past videos of mine, the first time I did this I was stressing quite a lot. If you're a beginner, don't stress, take your time, get everything all planned out. So the first thing you want to do is make sure there's no sort of dead scales. If any scales are sort of loose, they'll be dead, they'll easily come off. If the scales don't move, then leave them alone. The good thing is this is healing up really well. We haven't got to do a lot to this fish. So I'll probably get more zoomed in on the edit with this. We're just going to give that a clean with the cotton bud. And this is where the wound cleaner comes in handy. Just pour some on as well, keep using the cotton bud. And there's no dead scales on there, so the fungus which is growing, and get that off. That's just growing on top of the wound. Temperatures don't help with that, so that's quite easy with that one, to be honest. So what we'll do next, we'll go and get the antibacterial spray, give it a shake. This is to stop any sort of infection getting into the koi. And don't just spray the wound, spray all around the wound as well. That doesn't help, this is probably nearly run out, it's not spraying. Come on. Okay. So spread all around the wound. You can use some cotton wool as well, just to sort of smear it around, just to clean it a bit, but I haven't got any to hand at the minute, so I'm just using the cotton bud. And we can get the powder. Just dab that on. This is where you use water, like I said, use tap water for the spray, just to dampen the powder that's on there. This acts like a plaster for the koi. And then you can get your top coat sealer, and again then just pour it across which then just seals that plaster onto the wound. So this is quite a small wound now, it's healing up really well. You can see the fish has been really calm. It's not even flicked once, so the fish has properly gone under, which is good. Any powder as well, once you spread it on, just give it a blow. I probably should have done that before I put the top coat sealer on. But like I said, I'll zoom in more on the edit so you can probably have a proper look at that. But that fish is sealed up. He's starting to flip a bit, so we're going to get him back in. Okay. Right, so what I'm doing now, normally I'd have my water return on in the water feature in the summer, and I hold him under that, there's lots of oxygen there. Obviously they're off at the minute, so I'm just holding him in the water. Just put your fingers just underneath him, as you can see on the video. Try and move him a little bit so you can see yourselves. Make sure his gill's obviously covered right under the water. My hands are freezing in this pond, by the way. And then when he starts fighting to swim off, which he's doing quite quickly, that is really quick. When I did my Hiyatsuri, that was a lot longer. I'm not sure what you can see on the video. It's getting dark as well, which doesn't help. But he's already off. That was less than 5 minutes I've held him in the pond for before he started to fight to come out of my hands and swim off. We'll be a bit groggy for a bit. Lots of oxygen coming from the back of his showers, that's where he's heading towards, which is good. That will get the oxygen over his gills. And after a few minutes, he'll be fine and he'll be swimming off. Again, always keep an eye on your fish once you've entered him and back into the pond. So the light's not very good, but you can see actually the plaster now. You can see the white bit on the side of him. So we'll stay around the pond for a few minutes and we'll keep an eye on him. And while he's doing that, we can get sort of cleaned up. So I can get my gloves off. Put the lights on now so you can see a little bit better. What I'd like to have done mainly is probably held him under the oxygen a bit more, but like I say, he was fighting quite quick to leave my hands, so he's gone over, but he is under the air stone, which is good because that's plenty of oxygen getting over those gills. He will recover a lot quicker that way. He's just joined the rest of the fish, which is good. And when you clean up, if you do use a baby changing mat, again, just give it another wipe with antibacterial wipe. Don't let any stains stay on there, so we'll get that cleaned up. Chuck away your gloves, don't need to use them again. Water don't put back in the pond, obviously. Get rid of that. And then I've got a lovely medical box that all my medical stuff's in. And then with pots that your cotton buds are dipped in with the medication, give them a proper rinse out and you can use them again. So now everything's away, we'll have a quick look, see where he is. He's just coming back, if you can just see my Becco, he's actually next to that, he's just coming down towards us now. Obviously they're all scared of me at the minute, I've been in there with nets and stuff, so if you can see around here with the light shining on. Where is he? He's just behind the he's just gone into the shadows a little bit, so he's staying out my way. He's next to the Shiro Becco here, so he's just coming down now, so he might come into the light. Not the best of time of days to probably try and have a look at him really, it's getting dark. As you can see, you can just see the white plaster, look. He's coming out the shadow, back into the shadow, sorry. But he's alright, he's swimming around. Yeah, you can't really see on here, unfortunately. It's just over here. But it's okay, so we'll keep an eye on him over the next few days. Alright, so I hope that's helped a few of you beginners out there. So the fundamental things is, first of all, don't stress, don't panic. First time I did it, I stressed and I panicked, but it does come better with practice. I was quite lucky that the koi I did the treatment on, he's quite a calm koi. Every time I've done it, he's been very calm. He's not been thrashing around in the sedate or anything. He's not been flipping around on the changing mat. I've done it about 5 times now, and you know, he's calm as anything. The good thing about that koi as well, he does roll over quite quickly under the sedate, which means as soon as I put him back in the pond, it took less than 5 minutes and he was swimming, you know, he was off, he was out, wanted to get out of my hands and go. I did it on my Heat Suri a while back, and that one took absolutely ages, and I started to panic a bit because it wasn't coming round. But that small ghost koi, you know, it's amazing. Quite lucky as well, so the fish obviously actually picked. The wound is healing up really well, so we didn't really have to do a lot and spend a lot of time treating it. You want to be quick, but you don't want to be too quick. Obviously, at the end of the day, your fish is out of water and it's under sedation, so that's why it's best to get everything prepared first. Get your changing mat ready, or whatever you use. If you use one of these special medication koi tables you can get, have all your medication out all in a row. Get all the liquids in pots, get your cotton buds ready. Use cotton wool as well. Sometimes I would use cotton wool if the wound was bigger, but that was quite a small wound. I didn't have a lot to do. You couldn't see a lot of flesh in there, which was good. It's healing up really well, so I didn't have to use any cotton wool. The cotton buds were working fine. If you didn't have any wound cleaner, what you could use as well is TCP. TCP is a great sort of antiseptic, so you could use a bit of TCP if you wanted to. But you know, if you haven't got the stuff, then don't do it. Just make sure you've got everything ready. Make sure you've got your top coat sealer, things like that. You know, the plaster stops any bad bacteria getting into the wound, which will heal up a lot quicker. The last thing you want to happen is the wound becomes infected. As soon as it becomes infected, it's really hard to sort of clear, and then you're going down the bacterial route. So salt baths is another good one as well. You could do that alongside things like this, not at the same time obviously, but in between. So if it was quite a bad wound and your wounding was using every 2 weeks, then maybe in between that you can, you know, use a salt bath. Obviously I'd recommend something like 1 ounce per gallon, and just do a 15-minute bath, and always keep an eye on your koi and keep plenty of variation in there as well for your fish. But yeah, so like I say, it's a bit of a step-by-step guide. There's loads of beginners out there. I do get a lot of questions asked on things like this, so I thought I'd make a video and show you how it's done. Hopefully I've answered a lot of your questions and put a lot of your minds at rest as well if you are going to try it yourselves. So that's the end of this video really, only a short one, but it's a pretty important one. So it's freezing now, it's getting dark, my hands are cold. It's cold holding that fish back in the pond. So cheers then my ducks, hope I've helped a lot of you out there, so please give it a big thumbs up if you like the video, and if you're not subscribed to my channel, subscribe. It costs you absolutely nothing, it really helps me out as a channel as well, and there's plenty more videos to see. So we'll see you next time for another video very soon, hopefully for Sharpie's koi. I nearly said Sharpie's pond world, that's my old name. Cheers my ducks, bye.